So the narcissist in your life has been caught out. It might be something that they've done to you. It could be a work situation, could be a family situation. But the fact is they have been caught out. And narcissists, who you remember, are high need of control, high need of validation, admiration, to be thought of as the most perfect, wonderful person in the world, because that's what they believe about themselves. Very low empathy, sympathy, ability to put themselves in other people's shoes. To them, being caught out with something is tantamount to, it's the worst thing that could possibly happen to them. There are lots of bad things that go on to lots of people all the time, but for a narcissist, this is the worst thing that could possibly happen to them. And in this video, I'm just going to run through very briefly the 4 things that a narcissist will do to deflect from being in that particular spotlight. Remember, they're narcissists, so they love the spotlight, but they don't like that particular spotlight because it might make them accountable. It might make them responsible. They may even lose their job over it. They might lose their house over it. They might lose a relationship over it. And they don't want that because they like to maintain the status quo. They like where they are at the moment, because sometimes it can be hard work for a narcissist. They go through relationship after relationship after relationship because of who they are. They have no reflection about that. They have no process about that. They don't tend to end up in therapy rooms like mine because they're narcissists and they don't believe there's actually anything wrong with them. It's the rest of the world. But there's never any reflection about how they get into the situation that they get into. So, of course, if there's no reflection, there's no change. As I often say, there is no progress without process, and narcissists, on the whole, do not process. So in this video, I'm going to look at the 4 ways that when caught out, literally, sometimes with their pants down, what a narcissist will do about it. Now, the first thing they will do is they'll probably just lie. They'll just deny it. So say, for instance, I don't know, I've had a situation where a female in a relationship, she was the narcissist, the guy wasn't, and they had a joint bank account, and she would just keep taking money out of the joint bank account that he kind of kept funding. And he'd say, I wonder if there's something wrong with our internet banking, because I see that, a couple of £100 has gone out, and it kind of says that it went over to your account, or it paid for something. She was always having beauty treatments, that sort of thing. I looked it up. I saw this unusual activity. I looked it up. It was a beauty salon or something like that. And did you have anything done? I don't mind that you want some treatments, but if you could just tell me so I know, so we don't go overdrawn and then get extra charges. And she would deny it. She would actually say, no, that wasn't anything to do with me. He knew it was, so of course he then didn't launch into the whole online banking fraud thing because he knew it was her doing it, but she would just deny it. And the reason that he didn't question her any further, because she would do that thing that all narcissists do when they're challenged. She would get angry, she would deflect, she would kind of squirm, she would change the subject, and in the end he kind of rationalized it to himself, and he would say, well, it's it's only a couple of £100 to get some kind of beauty treatment, so it's okay, I'm just not going to go there. But this would happen because she wasn't challenged and enough to stop the behavior. She just kept doing it, and in the end he kind of had to, they had a joint account, but he kind of kept most of his funds in his own account, and then eventually she stopped doing that. But it took a long time for him to get to that point. And again, that's another video that I've made about how a narcissist will make you feel. And in that case, he was kind of feeling shameful and humiliated because he was in that situation of being exploited. They will also, kind of denying and lying is their first protocol. They will rewrite history. They will rewrite their history. They will rewrite your history. They will say, no, you said it was okay. You told me that, we'll use that as an example again. You told me it was fine to just raid the joint bank account and spend it on whatever I liked. I didn't quite say that. I just, we had a joint bank account because if I remember rightly, you kind of wanted to at the start of our relationship. You told me it was a commitment to our relationship to have a joint bank account, and all my wages are going in there, and not all of your wages are going in there, because believe me, narcissists will keep stuff aside for themselves, their funds for them, your funds for both of you. That's how a narcissist will think. So they will rewrite the history of a certain situation or situations to suit them. They're just deflecting. They're just not wanting the fact that they have been caught out to go any further, perhaps. They will also project. So they will, when we talk about projection, that is about when somebody feels something about themselves, but they can't quite deal with that. Adults, healthy adults, even in unhealthy situations, can usually process a situation. It might take a little bit of time. Sometimes it takes a little bit of help, but they can usually formulate. They have the skills, they have the emotional wherewithal to be able to process a situation. Whereas narcissists can't do that. They're very, what I call kind of radar type people. I have lots of little names for narcissists, and this one is about their radar. So it's over there, it's not on my radar, this thing has now come on my radar, I will focus on it, right, it's now gone off my radar, and what else is on my radar? They can't think outside of the blinkers that they operate under. So they don't think about stuff, they don't process stuff, they don't reflect stuff, and they will often just project that on to the person that they're in a relationship with. So say, for instance, you might have again, I'll use this as an example of people that I've seen over the years. You might have a situation where a guy doesn't have a very good family relationship, say, for instance, but because he doesn't have a very good family relationship and he can't work out why, or can't be bothered to think about why, and often narcissism does run in families, he will then project that all on, and this is what I'm thinking about one particular guy, he would project that all onto his partner, and he would say, well, I haven't seen my family for 6 months. And the partner would say, but would you like to go and see them? No, we won't go and see them because you don't like them. And she would go, I don't really know them. We hardly ever see them. No, you've made it quite clear right from the beginning that you didn't like them. And she'd done nothing of the sort, but he was projecting all of his stuff from the past onto her because it was just convenient. So that is number 3. Projection is number 3. And the fourth one is that they will change a situation to one that they can win. So if they're in hot water, say at work, I've had people that have been with people and they've stolen money to finance gambling debts, say, for instance, is something that jumps into my head. And that person is then getting reparation for, there might be police involvement also. But what they will then do is, quite often in those situations, the employer may say, look, okay, you've stolen money, you've defrauded us, etc., but if you just leave and pay the money back, we won't take it any further. And the narcissist, knowing that they have to do that, but they'll change it in such a way that they are the ones that are doing the employer a favour by leaving. And again, dare to challenge that, dare to challenge them with the facts and the reality of that. And you get the anger, you get the manipulation, you get the control all coming out. So they will often change a situation so it reads smiley for them. Even if it's something really serious like that, they'll manage to twist it and change it. And then they'll say, it wasn't that important, the police weren't called. If they were that fussed about it, then the police would have been called. I would have been prosecuted. There was nothing to it. It was just a relentless agenda against me, because remember about narcissists, it's always they're the victims. They are always the victims. It's always, regardless of the situation that they have created and manufactured, if it goes wrong, then they are the victims. And that's always a top thing, beliefs about narcissists. So those are the 4 things. So they will, if they are in hot water, if they found out to be lying or duplicitous or fraudulent or anything, they will deny, they will lie, they will rewrite history, they will project all of the stuff about themselves onto other people, which kind of puts them in a situation of being confused and bamboozled. But that's exactly, remember, where a narcissist wants you to be. And they will just change the scenario, the picture, so they can kind of come out of it as the hero, the rescuer, the successor, the thing that they were never in the first place, but to them they have. And again, this is just their history. It's just another bit of their history that they kind of just think, yeah, it was fine, it was okay. Remember, narcissists, you know, I've made this analogy before, but narcissists are driving down their highway of life, their road of life, and in front of them, it's perfectly clear. There is nothing there. It's perfectly clear. I don't bother to look in my rearview mirror or my side mirrors, because if I did, there'd be chaos, there'd be carnage, there'd be all the hassle of where I've just been. But I don't care about that, because where I'm going is exactly where I want to be, and it's clear of everything. Thank you very much for watching, and I would ask you if you wouldn't mind subscribing and hitting the notification bell, so next time another Beyond Narcissism with Dr. Jane video is done, you'll be the first to know. And also please feel free to put some comments below, and I'll also link below and the Dr. Jane site, and there is a special section on there for help if you are in a narcissistic relationship, because there is stuff out there. It might be very small, but it might just be the beginning for you. So thank you ever so much for watching, and I will see you next time.